The assignment. The spaceship Vortex 9 was not a place for heroes. It was a dirty, cold, metal prison flying through deep space. Inside, thousands of alien prisoners lived in silent cells. And in the middle of it all worked a young human janitor named Jackson Ray. Jackson was 23, quiet, and tired of his life. He took the cleaning job on Vortex 9 because it paid enough to send money back to Earth. He didn't care about the aliens or their wars. He just wanted to clean, sleep, and survive. Every day, Jackson cleaned the empty halls, washed the glass prison cells, and avoided eye contact with the alien guards. Humans were not treated well on Vortex 9. They were workers, nothing more. But everything changed on day 112 of his shift. As Jackson entered the control center to get his cleaning list, the head alien officer, a tall creature with gray skin and yellow eyes, stared at him. "You, Human 47JX. New task," the alien said. Jackson looked up. "Yes, sir. Room 9. You clean it today." Jackson froze. Room 9? That room was never opened. Other janitors said strange things about it, voices, lights, smells. Some said a monster lived inside. But no one cleans room 9, Jackson said, confused. The alien leaned closer. "Today you do. Do not look at the subject. Do not speak. Just clean and leave." Jackson swallowed hard. Understood. He walked down the metal hallway, heart pounding. Each step felt heavier. The hallway to room 9 was darker than the rest. Cold air hit his face as he reached the door. Beep. The door slid open slowly. The room was dim. A soft blue light came from the back wall. The air smelled like dust, metal, and something sweet. In the center of the room was a small figure. It was sitting on the floor, back turned to him, covered in dirt. Hair messy, thin arms wrapped around its knees. It was a girl, an alien, but not like the others. Her skin had a soft glow, faint like moonlight. Jackson stared, frozen. "Don't look at the subject," he remembered. He looked away quickly and started cleaning the floor. He tried to be fast, quiet, and invisible. But then, something strange happened. The girl turned her head and whispered, "Jackson." He dropped the cleaning cloth. His eyes widened. What did you say?" The girl didn't answer. She just stared at him with glowing silver eyes. Jackson stepped back. "How? Do you know my name?" Still silence. He looked at the camera in the corner. "Was this a test?" "I'm not supposed to talk to you," he said. "I just clean. That's all." The girl slowly stood up. She was taller than he thought, but thin, like someone who hadn't eaten for days. Her skin, even under the dirt, was glowing more now. Her arms had strange markings. Symbols. Some looked familiar, almost human. She walked a few steps toward him. Jackson backed away. "I'll leave now." As he turned to go, he heard a sound, soft and sad. A whisper in a language he didn't understand. But somehow it still made sense. "Please, don't leave me." He turned around. "What are you?" The girl opened her mouth, but before she could answer, the door slammed shut behind him. Locked. The lights flickered. Red alarm lights flashed for a second. Then silence again. Jackson looked around. What the hell is going on? The girl stood still. She looked afraid too. Suddenly, a sharp voice came through the wall speaker. The same alien officer. "Do not speak to the subject. Finish your task and exit. This is your final warning." Jackson felt cold sweat on his neck, but he couldn't move. His eyes were locked on the glowing girl. Something deep inside him whispered, "She's not dangerous. She's scared. Just like you." He took a small step forward. The girl didn't move. He gently picked up the cloth from the floor and said, softly, "Okay, I'll clean. No problem." She sat back down. But just before he turned away, she whispered again. And this time he heard it clearly. "They're lying to you." Jackson couldn't sleep that night. Back in his small metal room on the lower deck of Vortex 9, he lay on the hard bed, staring at the ceiling. The strange girl's words echoed in his mind. "They're lying to you." Who was they? The aliens? The officers? And how did she know his name? He had worked on the ship for almost 4 months. He never asked questions. He never broke rules. But today, something felt different. Something had changed inside him. The next morning, he returned to the control center. He expected punishment, maybe even to be fired or locked up. But no one said anything. No alien mentioned the locked door. No one asked if he had spoken to the girl. It was like it never happened. He checked his cleaning list. Room 9 was on it again. This time, he didn't hesitate. He picked up his tools and walked to the hallway. When he entered the room, the girl was already waiting. Sitting on the floor like before, eyes watching him quietly. The glow on her skin was stronger today. A soft light shimmered around her, almost like a moving mist. Her hair, though tangled, sparkled like silver threads. Jackson looked at the camera. No red light. Was it off? He spoke carefully. "You remember me?" The girl nodded slowly. "Yes, Jackson." He took a step closer. "How do you know my name?" She pointed at her temple. "I hear it. In your mind." Jackson's eyes widened. "You can read my thoughts?" She looked down. "Not all. Just your name. Your fear. Your sadness." He didn't know what to say. No one, not even another human, had ever seen him like that. "What's your name?" he asked. She was silent for a moment. Then she whispered, "Luma." The name suited her. Soft, bright, strange. Jackson slowly sat on the floor, a few feet away from her. "Luma, why are you here?" She looked up. "They made me, grew me, in a lab. I was not born like you." His heart skipped. "You're an experiment?" She nodded. "Part human, part light. That's what they called me. Project Luma." "Light?" he asked. She raised her glowing hand. "It's inside me. They put it there. But they don't understand it." Jackson felt something stir inside. Anger. Sadness. A mix of both. "How long have you been locked here?" Luma looked at the wall. "Time is strange. Maybe many moons. Maybe more." Her voice was soft, like wind. But her words cut deep. "Did they ever speak to you?" "No. Only tests. Wires. Pain." Jackson clenched his fists. He looked at the strange symbols on her arms again. Some looked like letters. He leaned closer. "This one, it looks like English." She nodded. "Your language is in me. In my mind." "Why?" "They used human code. Human cells. Human thoughts. Maybe. That is why I glow when you're near." Jackson felt a chill. "Glow because of me?" Luma looked into his eyes. "You calm the storm inside me. You are familiar." The words made his heart beat faster. Not in fear, but something else. Something new. He stood up and walked to the wall. There were scratch marks, deep ones, like someone had tried to escape. "You tried to get out?" he asked. Luma didn't answer, but her silence said enough. Just then, a loud buzz echoed from the hallway. Footsteps. Luma's glow dimmed. She crawled back to the corner, hugging her knees. The door slid open. A tall alien officer stepped in, eyes cold. "What are you doing, human?" the alien barked. "Cleaning, sir," Jackson said quickly. The officer looked around. "You're not here to speak. You are here to clean. One more mistake, and you will be reassigned to waste sector." "Yes, sir," Jackson said, keeping his voice low. The officer glared at Luma. "Do not talk to this creature. She is not real. Just a failed test." Jackson said nothing, but inside something twisted. Luma looked real, felt real, more real than anyone else he had met on this cold ship. As the alien left, the door slammed shut again. Luma looked at Jackson with sad eyes. "I'm not a monster," she said. "I know," he replied softly. Then she did something unexpected. She reached out her hand, glowing faintly, and touched Jackson's chest. A soft warmth spread through him. His skin tingled. His heartbeat slowed. His mind became quiet. He felt calm, safe. Then she whispered, "You are the first to see me, not as a thing, but as a person." Jackson stared at her glowing hand. "What are you, really?" She looked at him with those silver eyes and said, quietly, I was made to protect humans. But first, someone must protect me. The next day, Jackson didn't go straight to room 9. Instead, he stood in front of a locked metal door labeled Sector B-17, Restricted Access, Bioresearch. He wasn't supposed to be there, but after what Luma told him, that she was made from human DNA, that she glowed stronger near him, that she was created to protect humans, Jackson needed answers. Real ones, not the lies the aliens told. He looked around. The hallway was empty. Security patrols didn't come here often. With shaking hands, he pulled out a stolen ID card. It belonged to a low-ranking alien scientist who had dropped it 2 days ago near the waste unit. Jackson had picked it up and hidden it. He slid the card into the panel. Beep. Access granted. The door opened with a soft hiss. Inside, the lab was dark and cold. Rows of glowing tubes lined the walls. Inside them floated strange shapes, half-formed bodies, glowing cells, and machines that moved without sound. Jackson's stomach turned. He moved toward a dusty terminal and tapped the screen. A login appeared. To his surprise, the stolen ID worked here too. He searched the files for anything with the word Luma. One folder blinked. Project Luma, Human Light Hybrid Defense Subject. He opened it. Dozens of reports appeared, videos, lab notes, brain scans. Some too complicated to understand. But some were clear. Subject Luma was created using a mix of enhanced human DNA and photon-based cellular energy. Purpose: develop a living shield to protect Earth's atmosphere from deep space attacks. Early subjects unstable. Subjects 0106 failed. Only Subject 07 survived. Subject 07 is emotionally responsive. Shows rapid learning, telepathy, and light-based defense response. Then one line made Jackson stop breathing. Subject 07 bonded to human janitor 47JX. That was him. He clicked on the audio log. A cold alien voice spoke. Her glow responds to his presence. Stronger light waves, calmer brain activity. Emotional imprint confirmed. Bond is growing. Jackson sat down slowly. They had been watching him, recording his visits, studying how he affected Luma. He felt sick. This wasn't just an experiment. This was a trap for both of them. Suddenly, a noise behind him. Footsteps. He turned, heart racing. But it wasn't a guard. It was Luma. She stood in the doorway, breathless, her silver eyes glowing in the dark room. How did you get out? He whispered. I followed you, she said softly. The door opened when you scanned. Jackson looked at her in the dim blue light. Her skin shimmered brighter than ever. Luma, they've been watching us. They planned this. The bond between us. It's not an accident. She walked toward the terminal and placed her glowing hand on the screen. The file opened deeper. New lines of code appeared. Ones Jackson couldn't see before. The screen flashed red. Warning. Subject conscious override detected. What is that? Jackson asked. Luma didn't answer. Her eyes were focused. Her glow became sharper, like blades of light around her fingers. Then she spoke. I remember now. Jackson stepped back. Remember what? They didn't erase all of me. My thoughts. My mission. Her voice was different now. Stronger. More sure. They created me to protect humans, but then feared me when I became more human than they expected. She turned to Jackson. You gave me back what they stole, choice. Feeling. A name. He shook his head. Luma, we have to get out. They'll know we're here. Too late. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed. A robotic voice rang through the speakers. Unauthorized entry in Sector B. Lockdown initiated. Doors slammed shut. The lab shook slightly. Jackson grabbed her hand. We're trapped. But Luma's glow grew so bright the room looked like daytime. I'm not, she said. She lifted her hand and released a small wave of light. The locked lab door melted. Not broken, not blasted. Just disappeared. Jackson stared, stunned. How did you do that? I'm remembering more, she whispered. But it's not just science. It's something else. Something they don't understand. They ran down the hallway, dodging the flashing lights and echoing alarms. Suddenly, Luma stopped. Her hand clutched her chest. Jackson! Something's wrong. He turned to her. Her light was flickering, fading. What is it? I saw files. They didn't just watch us. They placed something inside me. The limiter. A lock. If I use too much power. Her eyes dimmed. They can shut me down. Jackson clenched his jaw. Then we break the lock. We find the override. He looked ahead. Only one place had full ship access. The command deck. The most dangerous place on the ship. He looked at Luma, her light still fading. Can you make it? She nodded weakly. If you're with me. He took her hand. We go together. And they ran into the unknown. They ran through metal hallways lit by red warning lights. Jackson's boots hit the floor hard. Luma's bare feet made no sound, but her breathing was heavy. Her glow pulsed weaker with every step. They were heading toward the command deck, the only place on the ship where all systems could be unlocked. If they made it, they could find the override that was killing her. But Jackson didn't even know if they had minutes or seconds. Luma suddenly stumbled. He caught her before she fell. I'm okay, she whispered, though her body trembled. Her glow was dim now, like a candle almost out. No, you're not, Jackson said. They're draining you, Luma. We have to stop it. She looked up at him, her silver eyes soft. You care too much, she said. He smiled weakly. Maybe that's my defect. No, she replied. That's your power. Jackson didn't know what to say. He had never been called powerful before. Just a cleaner. Just another number. But Luma looked at him like he mattered. More than anyone ever had. They reached a corner and paused. Just ahead, 2 alien guards blocked the entrance to the elevator. Jackson cursed under his breath. We can't fight them, he whispered. Not like this. Luma looked at him. We don't fight. We connect. What does that mean? She didn't explain. Instead, she closed her eyes and took his hand. Suddenly, everything went quiet. The alarms, the lights, the sound of the ship all faded. Jackson opened his eyes and gasped. They were standing in a white space, no walls, no floor, no ceiling. Just light. He turned to her. Where are we? In the bond, she said calmly. You and I are linked now. This is inside us. Jackson looked around. Felt like a dream. Peaceful. Still. But not empty. He could feel her memories. Flash, a cold lab. Needles. Wires. Flash. A glowing hand reaching for help. Flash, his voice. You're not a monster. Luma's voice spoke inside his mind. The connection between us is strong. I don't understand it yet, but it's giving me strength. Jackson whispered. Then take what you need. She turned to him. It doesn't work like that. The bond must be shared. Her hand touched his heart again. Warmth. Suddenly, Jackson felt energy rush through him, like light moving through his blood. The white space vanished. They were back in the hallway, but something had changed. Luma's glow was brighter than ever before. Her hair floated gently like it was underwater. Her body shimmered with moving light. The guards looked up, surprised. They raised their weapons. Too late. Luma raised her hand, not in attack, but in peace. The air shimmered. The guards froze, eyes wide, and slowly lowered their guns. Then they turned and walked away. Jackson blinked. What did you do? I didn't control them, she said softly. They felt the bond too. I shared a piece of it. Jackson couldn't believe what he just saw. You're not a weapon, he said. You're a message. Luma nodded. A message that was never meant to be heard. The elevator door opened. They stepped inside. The lights flickered as they rose toward the command deck. Jackson asked, What happens if we remove the limiter? I survive, she answered. But the aliens lose control over me, and maybe over the ship. He paused. And if we fail? She looked at him. Then you lose me. The elevator stopped. The door opened slowly. The command deck was quiet. Too quiet. No guards. No officers. Just empty chairs and glowing control panels. Jackson stepped forward carefully. "This is wrong," he said. "They should be here." Luma touched a console. It lit up instantly, responding to her glow. "Override system," she whispered. "I can feel it. It's here." She closed her eyes and reached deeper into the ship system with her mind. Suddenly, a sharp alarm. The screen turned red. "Warning. Subject 07 accessing core files. Emergency response activated." Metal walls shifted. From behind the panels, something huge emerged. Not a guard. Not a person. A machine. Tall, black, spider-like legs. Red eyes glowing. A voice echoed. "If Subject 07 resists, terminate the host." Jackson's heart dropped. "Me," he said. "I'm the host." Luma stepped in front of him, her body glowing like a star. "No," she said. "You're the reason I shine." Her hands lit up, forming a shield of light around them. The machine moved forward. Jackson whispered, "Can you stop it?" She looked at him with a soft smile. "Only if we do it together." The machine stepped forward. Its metal legs clanged against the floor. Its glowing red eyes scanned the room like searchlights. His voice was cold, without feeling. "Subject 07 has broken containment. Human host is compromised. Prepare for termination." Jackson stood frozen behind Luma. The machine was massive, taller than any alien he had seen. With sharp claws and a body made of black steel, it looked like a walking weapon. "Luma," he whispered. "We can't fight that." Her glow flickered around them, forming a thin shield of light. "We won't fight it," she replied. "We'll outsmart it." The machine's arm lifted, revealing a weapon. Not a gun, not a laser, but a strange device that looked like it was made to drain energy. "Locking onto Subject 07's energy core," the voice said. Luma's eyes widened. "That's what they used on the others. The failed ones." Jackson took her hand. "We're not failing." The machine fired. A beam of dark light struck the shield. It cracked instantly. Luma screamed and dropped to one knee. Her glow dimmed. Jackson knelt beside her. "What can I do?" She looked at him, her voice weak. "You have to get me to the core." "The ship's core?" "That's at the bottom level." "Yes," she gasped. "Only place I can recharge. If we reach it, I can shut this thing down." Jackson nodded. "Then we run." He looked around. Behind the control panels was a service vent, narrow, dark, but just big enough. The machine prepared to fire again. Without thinking, Jackson lifted Luma into his arms and dove into the vent. The blast hit the wall behind them, sending sparks flying. Inside the vent, everything was tight and hot. Jackson crawled fast, his arms trembling from carrying her weight, but he didn't stop. Above them, the machine's footsteps echoed. Luma's voice was faint. "Why do you care this much?" Jackson didn't answer right away. He thought about his life before her. Empty, cold, unnoticed. Now someone needed him. Finally, he said, "Because you're the first one who made me feel alive." Her eyes glowed weakly in the dark. "Then, I will live for you." The vent opened into a lower hallway. Jackson jumped down, breathing hard. Alarms were still ringing, lights flashing, but he kept going toward the ship's core. They reached an elevator, locked behind a glass panel. Jackson slammed his hand against it. "Come on, open." Luma raised her fingers. A small light pulsed, and the door clicked. Inside the elevator, Luma collapsed again. Her skin was dull, her eyes barely open. Jackson knelt beside her. "Stay with me. We're almost there." She touched his chest. "If I don't make it, you must leave the ship." "No," he said firmly. "We leave together." The elevator stopped. The core room was massive, a glowing sphere floating in midair, pulsing with blue energy. Wires and pipes surrounded it like a beating heart. Luma stood weakly, using Jackson's arm for balance. She stepped forward. Her glow began to return, very slowly. "This place feeds all life on the ship," she said. "If I connect, I can stop the machine, maybe free others like me." Jackson looked around. Others. There are more, she whispered. Hidden. Sleeping. Waiting for light. She reached out to the core, but just then the wall exploded behind them. The machine crashed through, sparks flying. Jackson stepped in front of Luma. No, he said. You don't get to take her. The machine charged. Jackson ran forward, not to fight it, but to distract it. He grabbed a metal rod from the floor and swung it at the machine's leg. It barely noticed. One claw slammed him into the wall. He hit the floor, coughing. Luma screamed. Her glow exploded outward. The light hit the machine, freezing it mid-step. She floated above the ground now, her hair rising like flames, her body made of pure light. No more cages, she said. She reached for the core. Her hand passed through it like water. The entire room lit up. The machine shook, then cracked, then burst into pieces of glass and steel. Jackson looked up, barely able to breathe. Luma slowly floated down. She was glowing brighter than ever before, but her body looked unstable. Luma, he whispered. What's happening? She touched his cheek. I connected too deeply. I gave too much. He shook his head. No, we made it. You don't have to burn out now. She smiled. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Suddenly, a soft alarm chimed. The ship's systems started rebooting. Doors opened. Cages unlocked. Somewhere above, soft voices whispered other hybrids. Waking up. Jackson held her close. What do we do now? She looked at him with glowing eyes. We escape, and then we bring light to the whole galaxy. The ship was waking up. Doors slid open. Emergency lights turned blue. For the first time in years, the prison ship Vortex 9 was no longer under full alien control. But peace didn't last long. From the far side of the ship, a deep voice crackled through the speakers. Unauthorized override detected. All hybrid units must be eliminated. Human interference confirmed. Send in the enforcers. Jackson and Luma stood together on the core deck. She was still glowing from her merge with the ship's heart, but her body trembled. That voice, she said softly. It belongs to the one who created me. Jackson clenched his fists. Then let's go meet him. Suddenly, boom, the wall exploded. Two tall alien enforcers stepped through the smoke. Their armor was black. Their helmets covered their faces, and in their hands were weapons built to kill light, energy dampeners. They're here for me, Luma said. No, Jackson said, stepping forward. They'll have to get through me. One enforcer raised his weapon and fired. Jackson rolled behind a control panel, barely dodging the blast. Sparks flew. The second enforcer aimed at Luma. She raised her hand. A flash of white light formed a shield just in time. But her body shook. She was weakening again. Too much energy, too fast. Jackson grabbed a broken pipe and ran at one of the enforcers, swinging with all his strength. Clang! The hit bounced off the armor like it was nothing. The enforcer punched back. Jackson flew across the room, crashing into the wall. He groaned, blood on his lip. Luma screamed. And then, everything stopped. The air shimmered. Time slowed. Jackson blinked. The world around him froze like a paused video. Only Luma moved. She walked slowly through the still air, toward Jackson. Time bend, she whispered. It's something I wasn't supposed to learn. Jackson coughed. You're bending time? Just a few seconds. Enough to protect you. She touched his chest, warmth spread through his body. The pain eased. His breath returned. But it costs me, she said. Stop, he whispered. You'll burn yourself. She smiled. Let me burn. For you. He grabbed her hand. No, you burn with me. Not alone. Time snapped back. The second enforcer lunged, too late. Luma unleashed a wave of pure light. This time it wasn't a shield. It was a roar. The blast hit both enforcers. Their weapons shattered, armor cracked, and they were thrown back into the hallway. But Luma fell to her knees. Jackson caught her. You did it. She shook her head. No, just a warning shot. More will come. Behind them, another door opened, and from the shadows came others. Not enforcers. Not aliens. Hybrids. 3 of them. Eyes glowing faintly, skin pulsing with blue or gold or red light. Each different, each unique. All once locked away, now awake. One of them, a boy with glowing red lines across his skin, stepped forward. "Are you the light core?" he asked Luma. She nodded weakly. "Yes." He looked at Jackson. "And him?" She smiled. "He's the one who made me shine." The red-lined boy nodded. "Then we follow you." A sound shook the ship. Loud, heavy, closer than before. Jackson looked out through the command window. A giant alien ship was approaching. Bigger than Vortex 9. Covered in weapons. "More are coming," he said. Luma stood, slowly with help from the others. "No more running," she said. "We make our stand here." Jackson stepped beside her. "Together." She looked at him. "Together." Suddenly, her glow changed. Not just white. Now it pulsed with gold and blue, reflections of the other hybrids near her. She was connecting to them. They all held hands. Jackson felt it too, warmth, strength, something ancient waking up. They weren't just science projects. They were a family. And they were done hiding. The alien ship fired its first weapon. The entire room shook. Luma raised her hands. So did the hybrids. And so did Jackson. A dome of light surrounded them. Not just from Luma, but from all of them. As the blast hit the dome, it bounced off and vanished into space. Jackson turned to Luma, shocked. "We stopped that." She nodded. "This is the real bond. Not just between us, but between all beings who choose to protect instead of control." The other hybrids smiled. "Ready." Jackson picked up a nearby pulse rifle, finally armed. "We fight now." Luma grinned. "We fight." The alien warship hovered above Vortex 9 like a black storm cloud. Weapons aimed. Lights blinking. Engines humming like thunder. Inside the prison ship, Luma stood with Jackson and the other hybrids. Hands linked, bodies glowing. Around them, the last shield of light held firm. But it was fading. Each time the warship fired, their glow dimmed just a little more. Jackson's grip tightened on Luma's hand. "How much longer can we hold this?" he asked. Luma didn't answer at first. Then quietly, she said, "I can hold it forever, but I won't survive it." Jackson's heart dropped. "You mean?" She looked into his eyes. "If I merge completely with the ship's core, I can use all the energy inside it. Turn the entire ship into a shield. Maybe even a weapon. It will stop the warship. It will save all of you." Jackson shook his head. "And it will kill you." Luma didn't deny it. "I was made for this," she said. "No," Jackson said, stepping forward. "You were made to live, to feel, to choose." She placed a hand on his chest. "I'm choosing now." The other hybrids watched in silence. One spoke, the red-lined boy. "If she dies, the bond dies with her. Our connection ends." Jackson looked around. They were all alive now because of her. But he couldn't let her go. There had to be another way. "There's always another way," he said, almost to himself. Luma touched his face gently. "You made me believe in humans again. You showed me kindness, emotion, love." She smiled, but it was a sad smile. "And that's exactly why I'm not afraid." A loud boom shook the deck. The warship was preparing a final strike. One shot and Vortex 9 would be space dust. Luma turned toward the core, still glowing in the center of the ship, waiting for her. She began walking toward it. Jackson ran to her. "Don't." She looked back. "I'm not dying. I'm becoming something else." Tears filled his eyes. "But what am I supposed to do without you?" She paused, then said, "Shine." She stepped into the core. Her body became pure light. Her hair turned into glowing threads of energy. Her hands melted into the core's glow. Her feet lifted from the floor. And then silence. No sound. No weapons. No movement. Just light. The entire ship glowed white, then gold, then silver. A burst of power so bright, even the stars outside seemed to blink. From the windows, The others watched as a beam of light shot from the top of Vortex 9 into the warship above. Not a weapon. A signal. A message. We are not your experiments. We are not your tools. We are alive. The warship froze, its weapons dimmed. Then slowly, it turned and left. No battle. No more destruction. Just silence. And light. Inside the ship, Jackson collapsed to his knees. Luma was gone. The core stood still, glowing softly, like it was breathing. The hybrid stood around it, silent, mourning, but not broken. Jackson walked to the core and touched it gently. It was warm. He whispered, "You saved us all." Then something strange happened. The core pulsed, and a voice, soft, gentle, echoed in his mind. "I'm still here." Jackson gasped. "Luma?" Her voice again. Not as before, but part of everything now. Part of you. He looked at his hands. A soft glow shimmered beneath his skin. Tears rolled down his face, but he smiled. "You didn't leave. I chose both." Epilogue. Weeks later, the prison ship was no longer a prison. Vortex 9 was renamed Haven 1, the first ship led by human hybrid Unity. Jackson stayed not as a janitor, but as a guardian. The hybrids built a home here, and the core? It glowed gently, watched over by everyone. Luma's light became the heart of the ship, her choice, her bond, her gift. Sometimes, late at night, Jackson would stand by the core and whisper, "Remember when they told me to clean you?" And in the silence, he swore he could hear her smile.